Hey Flosstube, here I am back again. I had mentioned I wanted to talk to you a bit about my floss organization system. I have that pretty much put together. I have a cat wandering under here getting into trouble. No, my cat likes to chew on plastic bags, and of course I'm surrounded by plastic bags. I have the floss system pretty well put together, so I wanted to show you that and kind of my thinking on how I organize it. And then I want to show you how that kind of works in with the X-Stitch app, how I keep track of my inventory, what flosses are where, and just all that kind of stuff. So I don't expect this to be too long, but hopefully it will be helpful. So first of all, my floss organizing. I had mentioned before that I was going to do it with these hanging folders, keeping it in a bin for hanging folders. This isn't anything new. There are a couple of people on Etsy who have much sturdier systems. I think one, like Annie's Thread Keepers or something like that. I think she has like a laser cut plastic system. No, don't eat my floss bags. No, Sasha. So it's much sturdier. I think there's another person on Etsy that has like a laser cut wood system with the DMC numbers engraved, laser engraved into the wood. I mean, very pretty, much more expensive, much more of an investment. Maybe I'll get there at some point if this annoys me. Maybe over time I'll slowly switch it over. For right now, I'm okay with this. It's not perfect, but it will do for now. So and I'm certainly not the first person to use the hanging folders either. There are other people out there who have come up with this, and so I'm definitely totally stealing their idea for this as well. And I'm using just the paper clips to hold the bags, the floss or the thread tucks bags. You can find these on 123 Stitch. I find these more convenient. They take up less room than the floss away bags. Can store a lot more in a smaller space, which, you know, I'm all about. Like this one is stuffed full with 10 skeins. You can fit a lot into the bag. So it's not ideal. It's not super sturdy. You'll notice here I have this paper clip holding here. When I went to take this bag off, because I had punched this too close to the bottom, it tore through. Some swear words might have been said. It still kind of annoys me when I look at it. So what I'll probably have to do is just punch another hole further up here, you know, where these numbers are. I'll be able to figure out what the number is by what's on either side of it, but that's kind of annoying, and it's something, you know, lesson learned, I'll have to keep in mind. I get impatient and things happen. I know. You would never know I'm impatient, right? Remember that job thing that we're still waiting for? Yeah, we're still waiting. All right, so my DMC I'm just keeping in numerical order because that's how I usually use it and how I usually pull it. Now, my over-dyed variegated flosses, I'm actually storing by color with all the different companies mixed in. Weeks, Gentle Arts, Victorian Motto. I think I have an old Needle Necessities here, which I just learned is now Threadworks. I did not know that. So I'm keeping them all according to color because for the most part, when I pull a chart, if it calls for DMC, I'll pull the DMC by number. If it calls for DMC and I want to change it to an overdyed floss, I'm more likely going to look and see what that DMC color, you know, what color that DMC number is. And again, then I'm pulling by color. It doesn't matter to me which company I use. If I need a lot of it, I'll probably go with Victorian Motto. But otherwise, it doesn't matter to me what color, what company. So I just need to come and see, okay, I need a seafoam green. And, you know, there I have that. There I have that. I might need to go to the company website and look and see what the color is. You know, if the DMC is just like a seafoam green, then I'm going to have to decide if I want more variegation like this one or less variegation. So, you know, there's those kind of things that play into it. But for the most part, I am pulling by color when it comes to the overdyed floss. So I find it makes more logical sense to me to keep my overdyeds stored by color. And it also looks pretty. Not that I can see it that well when it's in the bin, but you know. Okay, so that's just a quick look at that. I still have to put the little tabbies on the file folder thingies so I know which numbers are on which thing. So when I then am kitting things up, well, when I'm doing anything, when I buy stuff to begin with, I use the X-Stitch app to keep track of everything. So for instance, I got all the flosses from the Joann sale the other day, and before I separated them out into anything, I enter them into the inventory here. And so this is my inventory. Let me go back. This app has, it doesn't have all of the flosses yet, I don't think. Like it doesn't have Victorian motto, but they're doing as good of a job as they can to get everything in here. And so, I mean, you can see it just keeps going on, all the different flosses. So what I try and remember to do before I do anything else is enter. So the inventory has the option of charts and kits, threads, or linens. I don't put my linens, or I haven't up to this point put my linens in here yet. I may or may not, I don't know. Charts and kits, so you enter the chart. Just find one here. You enter the chart name, who the designer is, and if there's any notes you want to do. So I try and keep track of all of those. And then if I am, let's go back to that one. Well, that's one I finished already. It's not that great of an example. Okay, let's do this one. So it's in my inventory. If I'm ready to start it, then I just have to tap the Add to Journal, and that will put it into another section that I can take notes on and note when I've started it, and we'll look at that in a second. So threads then. Threads, let's go to the DMC cotton. So what I try and do, so it has a section for my threads. So these are all the things that I've already, all the DMCs that I own. I can put how many I have and keep track of them. And so, and then if I get new ones that I don't have yet, I tap the add button and I can add them. So when I add a floss, I put it in, and for the most part, I'm buying flosses for a particular project. You can see when I do that I note which project. And this is what I mean by keeping track of where everything is. So I note which project it is in. So I had mentioned in my video, the one I just did, the Stitch Mania plans, that I wasn't going to fully kit those. If I come across a project that needs 315, I can look in here and say, okay, I have a 315 in my linen and threads mystery knit along, stitch along, which of course is no longer a mystery because it's finished and I'm still working on it. And I put one in my 4 seasons. I have 3 of them. So those are where they are. So my 4 seasons one, I'm not starting yet. If I come across one of these Mania ones that I need it for, I can go into that bag for 4 seasons and pull it out. And I will make a note here of where I'm using it. So when it comes time to do 4 seasons, then I can say, okay, I need to go get it from there. Does that make sense? I also, I don't know whether I'll be able to find one. I've started, okay, this one. So you can see it says History of Sheep and Coneflower. Coneflower is my punch needle piece that I've started. And you can see I have 7 skeins of this. The 6 after Coneflower is telling me that I have 6 of those in the Coneflower because it takes a lot of floss to do the punch needle. So that just lets me know how those 7 are divided up. Okay, So that's my inventory. And then the journal has these options. So my wish list, and I can, whenever you're adding something to your wish list, okay, there we go. You have the option to add a photo. So anytime I find something that I want to get, I make sure I save off a photo and add it in here. Because I don't know about you, but there are times when I'll look at the title of a piece and Dawn Chorus, if I didn't have a picture in there, I wouldn't have the faintest idea what that looked like. So I try and add a picture in. So again, I have it in here. Now, one thing that I think this app needs to do is have a way for me to, okay, I have it in my wish list. There needs to be an easy way, like I can, when I edit it, my choices here are wish list, kitted, started, and finished. Well, if I've bought it, it's no longer on my wish list, but I don't necessarily have it kitted up. I need to have a way to get it, an easier way to get it into my inventory. So that's something that I think I've actually sent them a note on improving that, because they're very, the people that create Xstitch are very proactive about suggestions for improvements. All right, so that is wish list, kitted. Now I don't have any pictures for these yet. These are all the new ones that I've kitted to get ready for Mania. So those should, excuse me, those should all mostly look familiar to you. There's a few of these that I'm not doing. So again, Mania, or kitted, I have it chosen kitted there. You'll see there's an option for start and finish. So let's go to started. So once I start a project, if I have a picture for it, I try and update the picture so you can see where it is. If I've just started it, like Pretty Little India, I have the picture in there of the project itself, and then I'll update it as I go along. I need to update my Harbor Haven. Let's go to Harbor Haven. So that one of the changes they're making, they're working on an upgrade for the app. My understanding is one of the changes they're going to do is to allow multiple photos, so you can kind of have the whole progression of a project in here. You'll see I have the designer, I have my start date, or I have that it started, I have the start date, and then there's the place for the notes. Now I try and use this to put not just the type of linen, whether I'm doing 1/2 or 2/2. I've noted my any color changes. I either put the color changes in here or down here. I try and put any color changes I've even started noting what size fabric I'm cutting, if I'm leaving, how many inches I'm leaving for border and mounting, if it's 1 inch or 2 inch or 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch. And I'm even starting to put, I want to start, you know, down 2.5 and over 2.5, so that whenever it does cut time to start it, I'm not wondering, now how was I doing this? Where am I starting? Sometimes whenever possible, I start in the left-hand corner. If I have to, I'll start in the middle, but whenever possible, I try and start in the left-hand corner. So I want to know without having to recalculate where I'm starting. So I try to keep all of that here. Now with this particular project, since it is a series, I'm noting down when I'm starting each section and when I'm finishing each section. So then, whenever I do get to the point when I finish that and I fill in that date, and that's just something that comes up, oops, I need to edit, and tap finish, I have this kind of thing that I can do. And so I'm not going to change that, I'm going to cancel. So this is a very easy app to use. I love it, and I love being able to keep track of everything. And then there is the whole, my finish section. And so those are, and I try and take a picture of the finished piece. So that is how I do that. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, let me know. I find it, I guess I said earlier in one of my videos that I am used to keeping track of everything, of all of my knitting projects in Ravelry. So this comes naturally to me to just keep track of all my stitching projects too, especially since I make so many color changes. I want to start adding some of this to my blog, so I have it on there for easy access for people that I can point them to, but having it on here then allows me to easily copy and paste it into my blog whenever I get around to that. So anyways, I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. Be happy to help you in whatever way I can. Hope you have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.